Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the second session of the Student Orientation Program 2024-25, conducted by St. Thomas College Autonomous Thrissur in association with the Internal Quality Assurance Cell. Today, we have joined to attend a webinar on the topic Importance of Custom-Made Professional Resume and Sincerity in Projects or Internships for Career Progress. Before proceeding to the seminar, let's take a moment for a silent prayer. Thank you all. Now, I invite the principal of our institution, Reverend Dr. Martin K.A. for the welcome address.
A warm good morning to one and all. Respected Mr. Rajesh T., Human Resource Mentor, Director of CEST, HR Consultancy, Anamika, the anchor, dear beloved IQC coordinator, Dr. Divya George, and other faculty members and dear students. So this is the second spell of our orientation program. Along with the monsoon spell, we have plenty of programs organized for you. And yesterday, I'm happy that nearly 4,500 of you have attended this program. When I took a talk by the evening online, it surprised me, and I'm so happy that you are attending the same. Today we have a resource person, Mr. Rajesh T, and speaking on the topic which is very relevant to you, importance of custom-made professional resume and sincerity in projects, internships, and for career progress. Your resume is reaches the company or the respective firm well ahead of us, actually. So we are appearing for interview later on, but so resume reaches them first. So it's the first impression on the resume. How to make a professional resume is very important, that we are only coming after. So this session will enhance your ability to make a professional resume and the sincerity in projects and internships. Sincerity is to be the policy, That's so I would like to introduce the resource person. He is a well-known resource person in the field. He is a famous HR mentor, and he is associated with the Kerala Police Academy and Kerala government's various career development centers, and he has done over 3,200 training programs both inside India and abroad. He has done over 650 career guidance sessions, conducted 95 train the trainees programs. Programs have been broadcasted by DD Malayalam, All India Radio, and Club FM regularly. So conducts personalized career guidance also for class 10 and class 12. So and he has been an associate of this institution for many years for a walk with scholar program, and so we are very, and we know the person, so that's why he's a mentor of person, so that this session will be really beneficial for you all. So with all these words, although he is not new to our campus, on behalf of all the students present online, I extend most cordial welcome to Mr. Rajesh T to our midst. Hearty welcome, dear Sir Rajesh Sir. Hearty welcome. And I also welcome all the students online as well as the faculty members and Anamika and all. Let us have a very fruitful session. I know that it is no election results time, but still hope that all of you will attend this program without fail. Wishing you all the best for this program. Let me conclude wishing you all the best once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the resource person of the day, Mr. Rajesh T, HR Mentor, Director of CEST, HR Consultancy. He has to his accolade a career of a fulfilled 3,200 training programs, 650 career training sessions, and about 95 Train the Trainer program. And many of his programs have been broadcasted by DD Malayalam, All India Radio, and Club FM. We wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, for an insightful conclave.
So good morning, all. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Anamika. Thank you, Jaswin, and all those who are involved in this endeavor. Now, my dear students, resume. There are two parts in this particular session. One is about your resume, and second is about being sincere in your projects and internships. There are 2 parts. So we'll divide it into 2 parts and we'll take it that way. So we'll start with the resume part. Now, if it were an interactive session, we could have asked what is a resume, what is a biodata, what is a CV, etc. But since that's not possible, we'll make use of the whatever is available, the second best option. Since 2020, we have been used to online classes, thanks to COVID, in fact. Right? Okay. Now one common word which is being used nowadays is biodata. And I want my dear students to avoid that word because that word was in prevalence only in the 80s and 90s. Now we don't use the word biodata. Now let us understand what is biodata basically. Some of you might not have seen at all. I have seen in my younger days. Father might have seen. Most of your professors might have seen because we had used biodata earlier. Now biodata is where, as the word spells, biodata. It's more of your biological aspect. And that is where you have a one single page wherein you write name, then you write your name, then you write your address, then you write your, this side you write down your full address, then you note down, some of them write permanent address. Then you know what happens, the other details, father's name, mother's name, husband's name, then religion, caste, etc. These are the things which are given importance in a biodata. Only after that will you see 1 or 2 sentences which says, I have passed BCom or MCom or BSc or whatever, or 1 or 2 sentences which says, I have finished 2 years of experience, I have got 4 years of experience, I have got, etc. All this happens in one single page. That is what is known as biodata. And in today's times, my dear students, do not use a biodata because the moment a corporate person sees the biodata, he will understand this child, this student is not up to date. And this child is rather belonging to a prehistoric age or something like that. Look, this is not a trainer's point of view. I am basically a human resource mentor. We go to campuses for campus interviews for some of our clients. And we also conduct training programs like this. So we are well versed of what the corporate segment is looking for nowadays. So biodata is something you should be avoiding. Even the word itself you should avoid. Now that leaves us just 2 options, a CV and a resume. The issue here, why I use the word resume is, in olden times, 99% students, they finish your graduation, they go for PG. But present day students, at least some of them, after they finish their graduation, some prefer to work for 1 or 2 years and then come back and do their PG. So that is why I use the word resume instead of the word CV, because it should cater to them also. So I hope you have got some hint about what is a CV and what is a resume. I'll elaborate. Look, a CV is wherein your academic parts takes the major chunk portion. You have got your, when you finish your 10th standard, your 12th standard, all those details, your graduation details, your PG details, what all you did during graduation apart from academics, etc. These portions cover about 70% of what you call your curriculum vitae or CV, right? So that is what a CV is. Now, what is a resume? In a resume, the importance goes to the professional experience, and then the educational part comes. So these are the differences between a CV, resume, and our olden days biodata. I hope it is clear. Now let's start with the resume itself, because in a resume there is CV also. So we'll talk of resume. Now, why it is important to prepare a custom-made resume? Now, most of the time, when we go for campus interviews, well, I'm not talking of St. Thomas College. Here, obviously, there are so many differences because the college is very much updated on all these aspects, and your management as well as your teaching faculty are very keen on updating you people. So this mistake would not be happening here, but in many colleges, this particular mistake is happening. When we go for campus interview, looking at one resume is enough to assess the entire 40 or 50 students of that particular class, because even the career objective remains the same. So pathetic, you know. Career objective too is remaining the same. The model, everything, just you copy paste from one laptop to other laptop. What you do? You just change the name, you change the date of birth, you change your parents' name, you change the marks, etc. Because otherwise, more or less, it's the same one. Now imagine the plight of the person who has come for the interview. He looks at one person, the second person, the third person. Each person who walks into the cabin, All the same thing. Now, what will he have assessed about you people? And what will be his feeling about the institution also? They will feel this is not a professional college. Clear? So that is something you should avoid. Moreover, I was talking of custom-made resume. Why custom-made resume? We'll come to the second. Now, how should a present day or modern day resume look like? That's one thing we'll be concentrating. Then we'll go to the font part. Now, primarily we prefer a 2-page CV or a 2-page resume in the case of experienced person. And all the other students, we prefer a 2-page CV. And we prefer the letterhead model nowadays. Letterhead model, wherein your name comes on the top, and below that you'll write your house number 13, XYZ Street, for example, Paravattani, Thrissur, and Thrissur pin code. And below that, you'll be writing your telephone number, and in the other corner, you'll be writing email ID. These are the essential details which tells who you are and where you are coming from. Clear? Once that is over, you should draw a line so that it becomes your letterhead. So that is how we prefer a professional CV or a professional resume from a college student. Clear? Now coming to that part itself. The font of your name can be a bit 1 or 2 size bigger than the other one, a bit bolder, no issues regarding that. Now regarding the telephone and email ID, look at students, some of the students have 2, 3 phone numbers, I know that. And they do have email ID in almost all, they have Gmail ID, they have Hotmail ID, you ask, they have got email ID in all those things, right? So in a CV or a resume, we do not prefer to see so many phone numbers or so many mail IDs, because that gives a feel, well, in Thrissur Bhashal Parna, or a freak, right? So you are who is not serious about this, about academics or the interview, right? It gives a feel like very casual person. That should not be given to the interview. So what you should do is just one mail ID and one telephone number. And when you are giving one mail ID, ensure that you are checking that mail ID at least 2 or 3 times a week. Because sometimes you might not be called for the interview when you apply. I'm talking application, not for campus interview. Your notification comes via mail. And if you are not going to check the mail ID which is given in the resume or CV, you'll be missing a chance to attend the interview. Or rather, you'll be missing a chance to understand you have been shortlisted also. All these things comes via mail only, because it isn't possible for the HR department of big corporate companies to sit and call each and every fresher who is being hired. Suppose they are hiring 300 persons. In certain cases, they might not call you individually. They might send a mail only, right? So it is your duty to check the mail regularly. And even otherwise, when you upload the same CV or a resume in a job portal like Monster or Naukri or Times or Shine or whatever, Indeed or whatever, when you upload your CV or resume there, you know what happens? The companies who check it out, they will only be mailing most of the time. So if the mail ID which is presented in the CV or resume is not one you are regularly using, then you will be the loser, because they will be notifying you through the mail about interviews and all the latest vacancies they have got. But you will be the loser, since you will not be knowing that, as you are not checking that mail ID. So please ensure that the mail ID you are giving in the CV or a resume is an updated one, also is one you are frequently checking, right? The same applies to your telephone number. In olden days, yes, there was a need to change telephone number when you you are changing your connection from one connection to another company's connection. Present day, you don't need to do that. You can port your number, right? So in such a scenario, if you are again changing a number, then again you are making a big mistake. Don't do that. I want you people to have that number regularly. And in case there is a need to change the number, then update that in the resume, in the job portals where you uploaded the resume, because otherwise they will be calling to the old number only. And you know what happens? Sometimes that number might have been taken by another person, and obviously it will be a wrong number. Or otherwise they will get the information that this number is temporarily not working or something like that. Either case, you as a student will be the loser. So please ensure that the telephone number and the mail ID given in your CV or resume is one you are frequently using. Clear? Now that heading part is over. Now once the heading part is over, you know the second part, what is most important? And in some cases the children miss it out. It's your career objective. Now, career objective is something which you can write in your own words. But most of the time, I know who prepares your resume. It's either your colleague or your friend who prepares one for the class, and the entire people copy that. Or it's the nearest DTP person sitting adjacent to your college who prepares the CV or a resume for you. And he has got 4 to 5 models. For each person, he pieces, he copies certain things here, deletes certain things, and he gives you the CV. Right? So when that happens, the career objective is going to remain the same only. Again, you are making a big mistake because we say in marketing a term called USP, unique selling points. So there should be a unique selling point of myself. Now, people think an HR job is not a marketing job, but basically you should understand even an HR person sells. He sells the profile of the job, right? So as you are a candidate who comes there, it is essential that you market yourself, you exhibit your unique selling points. And for that to happen, the first thing to do is your resume being a what you call a custom-made resume for that particular position you are applied for or that particular company you are applied for. Clear? So here, the career objective part plays a big role. Just write in your own words what is your career objective. Because what happens, when a DTP person prepares, he writes 3 or 4 lines with colons, semicolons, phrases like etc. And the interviewer looks at the resume, looks into your eyes and asks, what do you mean by your career objective here? 9 out of 10 times you'll be forced to check the resume because you do not know what was the written, or you do not remember the entire sequence of the words which have been printed because it has not been done by you. It has been done by a DTP person. So do not allow the interviewer to get an upper hand wherein you feel that you are on the back foot. Because even from the first question, if you are on the back foot, imagine the plight of the interview. You will hardly succeed. Right? So you should be on the forefront. For that to happen, you should be very thorough with what is being printed on your CV or your resume. So in such a scenario, the career objective can be in simple words. Nobody has told anyone that a career objective part should use words and jargons and certain phrases with colons and something. There is nothing like that. Somebody has done that sometime and people have been following that continuously till 2024 maybe, right? Okay, it will continue in 25 also, I do know that. It is not going to change that easily. Yeah. Fine. So what you need to do is in your career objective part, write in simple words what you want to talk about your career. You can simply write, I want to work in a professionally managed company which can exploit my skill or which utilizes my skill for the benefit of myself as well as for the company. That's it. And now something, I know about 800 to 900 to 1,000 students are watching this. Now I request students one thing. If everyone is going to write the same thing which I was told, your resume will be also be carrying the same career objective, which is bad for you, bad for the college. So don't do that. I just gave an example. That's it, right? So write in simple words what you wanted to know, what you wanted to express about your career objective. Clear? Now the career objective part is over. Before that, I'll tell you something else also. Then we'll get into that. I forgot to talk about that. Now, your CV or your resume is the first thing you need to prepare for getting a job. Unfortunately, students feel that it's your GD skill or your interview skill which needs to be polished. If I perform well in the GD, if I perform well in the interview, I will be selected. No, my dear students. If you have to call for an interview, when you apply for a job, if somebody has to call you for an interview, only then you can perform. The first thing which counts is your CV. Because looking at that, I can understand whether this guy is serious, whether this girl is serious, or whether this CV should go to the dustbin. Right? I'm not bluffing, it's a fact. Okay? Even when people come for campus interview, this happens because imagine a person sitting for interview and about 150, 120, 150, 160 students walking in, one after another. It is not that easy a job. Clear? So there will be a filter. And the first filter used will be your CV. With that itself, we will assess whether to continue the interview or finish the interview within 2 minutes and send off this boy. Because we are not going to take that boy out there. Clear? So your CV plays a big part in making the interviewer feel this guy or girl is professional and we need to give a serious look to that person. So your CV plays that big a role. Understand this. Look, there are colleges wherein we conduct 1 day workshop on CV preparation or resume building. Right? Now, when you have one day, you know why it happens? Because the institution as well as the students have realized the importance of a professional CV or a professional resume. So that much importance is given. So you should understand that your CV has a big role to play in your selection process. Clear? So that's why this type of classes are being organized. Now coming back, one more thing I would like to tell. Look, when your CV has a big role to play, I need to get attracted to your CV or your resume within 20, 22 or 17 to 22 seconds. That's what the time says. 17 to 22 seconds is the time frame within which your CV has to look attractive. Now, to look attractive, you need not do all the rangoli type. I've seen CVs like that also. So many rows, columns, rangolis, here line, there line. No, we need a simple, presentable CV. No, you need not draw lines and columns and boxes all over. Clear? Now, how do I make my CV attractive to the interviewer or to the person who is checking my CV within the first 17 to 22 seconds? For that to happen, your USPs, your unique selling points, your most important aspects has to be on the first page. Right? Only if it is on the first page will I have a good look at that. Then only I will turn to the second page. Now, if you are going to present all your important aspects in the second page, imagine what will happen. This guy will look at it. There is nothing important in it. It might go there. I'm not saying it will happen. It might. There is a probability that it might go to the dustbin. Although in the second page, you might have presented all your credentials, which are exceptionally good. In spite of that, you might not be given a look also. So, present the most important aspects on the first page. And here, for a experienced person, experience is the most important aspect, not your PG degree. Because when we come for a campus interview, there are about 30 PG students sitting over there. We will be happy to interview the person who has finished his graduation, gone for job, and then come back for PG after 1 or 2 years. Because that person has got a feel about what life in corporate setup is. Whatever be the department he or she has worked, whether it's a marketing department or operations or administration or finance or accounts or HR or wherever, that's immaterial. Whether this guy or a girl has got a feel of a corporate culture. So that is something we will be enjoying. Even otherwise, no corporate culture, part-time tuition you have taken, part-time help you have done in your father's shop or office, that is enough. You can mention that. You should mention that. Because that is what separates you from the rest of your classmates. Right? Look, you are all friends, you are all together here. But suppose a company comes with an intention to hire only 2 people. And all 30 of you want that job. Obviously, there will be competition. Right? It should be there. There should be a healthy competition. I always tell my students, there should be a healthy competition. A healthy competition is where professionally you compete, personally you are again close friends. Right? You don't do anything harm to that person. But professionally, when you go for an interview, there is no consideration that my friend is waiting outside. The only consideration is, I am supposed to get this job and I will ensure that I get this job. Right? That is the kind of dedication you should be showing. That is the kind of energy you should be having. Clear? So with that intention, if you are going to prepare a CV after your career objective, if an experienced person is there, he will be preparing a resume tool. So his experience has to come next because that is the most important thing. Right? Now, about experience, how do you present your experience? Right? We write professional experience. Under that, you can write designation. That is whether you are a front office executive or an accounts assistant or an operations back office staff. Back office staff means what you call your clerical staff. It's known as back office staff in corporate culture. They use the term back office, whether it's a back office staff or something like that. So you write your designation, and along with the designation, you should write the period that work from 2023 June to 2022 June to 2023 April or something like that. The period you have worked, that should be mentioned. Under that, you should write the organization, the name of the organization. For example, Yamaha Tires or Allied Supermarket or whatever. You write the name of the organization. And below that, you are supposed to write 1 or 2 sentences about the job you are done. So you should be writing like job responsibility or job profile or job description. Some heading you should give like that. Then in 1 or 2 sentences, you should give a brief write-up of what you were doing. 1 or 2 sentences, not a big paragraph. Clear? So this is how you should be presenting your experience. You should not simply write worked at MRF Limited as a front office executive from to. That is not professional. This is how you present in a professional CV. Clear? So you should write like this. Then, suppose a person has worked with 2 companies. How does that person present? Look, the latest one, the last one that person has worked should be the first one should be on top. Below that, the job which that person has worked earlier, right? So the latest one on the top, the second, previous one below that, and if there is another one previous to that, then it comes under that. This is the way you should be presenting your experience. Clear? I hope I am clear. I'll give you time. Look, after the session is over, we'll be giving you each one of your time for asking doubts. Whatever doubts you will be presenting, there will be a person who is looking after all those things, and he or she will be asking that doubt, and I will clarify those doubts. So whenever you have got a doubt, just note it down on the paper or a book which is in front of you, if there is a book or a paper, right? Right? So just note it down and then ask after the session is over, right? So that's professional experience for you. Now, after professional experience, what do you present? You present your academic or educational qualifications or academic qualifications or whatever the term you use. Clear? This is for experienced person. Now, many of you or most of you are not experienced. So what happens? So after your career objective is over, the second thing you will be presenting is academic qualification or educational qualification. I hope I am clear. Clear? The academic qualification or educational qualification, whatever you call, that is something you can draw rows and columns. I don't mind rows and columns on that. Not otherwise. Clear? This is one thing you can draw rows and columns. So what do you have as heading in rows and columns? It will be first thing, your class. And under that you will be having 10, the 12, the UG, that is BCom or BSc Stati or MSc Stati or what. Clear? Second, after class, what you have? The college or institution, or school or college we write, or we simply write institution. You can either write the heading as school bar college, or you can write as institution. In that you will be writing school, this particular school, +2, this particular school, graduation, St. Thomas College, PG, St. Thomas College, whatever, to write the name of the college, right? And class is over, school, institution is over. Next comes board/university, board. So in 10th you will be writing maybe CBSE, ICSE, and in +2 you will be writing state board, Kerala state board, and in UG you will be writing University of Calicut, and PG also if you are studying here, it will be University of Calicut only. All these things you will be writing under, right? I hope I am clear. Once university is also over, what is that you need to write? It is the year of passing. Year of passing. That is maybe PG 2024 if you are 25 if you are passing out. So UG will be 23 and +2 will be 20 and 10th will be 18, right? So 2018, 10, adjacent to 10th you will be writing 2018, adjacent to +2 you will be writing 2020, adjacent to UG you will be writing 2023, and adjacent to this thing, you will not be writing 2025, you will be writing pursuing, right? Because you are still studying, you are not finished. So you will be writing pursuing. We will not be writing like we will be finishing my graduation next year, that will not, or your PG next year, that we shouldn't write. We will be writing as students, the thing you are doing now, whether it's a UG or your PG, you will be writing pursuing, right? Now, is there a need to write the marks part? That is what, it's quite intriguing for me, because at times, why should you present something which is not presentable? Most cases, I'm not telling in all cases, in most cases. Why should I tell the interviewer or the person who is taking my CV, look, my marks are going down? Obviously, in most cases, it is like that only. You score 97 or 98 in 10, then there will be 95 or 96 in +2. And when it comes to graduation, it's somewhere near 85. and in PG it is 75. Now, you're still pursuing, or right? Whatever. So why should you tell the person who is checking your resume, look, my marks are going down? Only if your marks are going up, you need to write the marks part. Otherwise, don't present your marks. When we come for an interview, campus interview in a campus, we are very glad if you are interviewing a PG person, we just want that boy or girl to finish his PG in the next year when the exams are over. Clear? And join our company if he or she is selected. In 9 out of 10 cases, we are not bothered about your marks because we know you are above average and all other qualities will be checking out in the interview, GD, etc. If everything goes fine, we will take you because you have got a minimum subject knowledge and whatever needs to be done in the office, we will mentor you, train you and make you an efficient professional. Clear? So that is the mindset of the people who are coming for an interview. So there you need not show the marks are going down. Clear? This is something I shouldn't have told you, but as I told, St. Thomas College, I share a very good relationship with many of the some of the teachers here, and this institute has a big place in my heart also. So for this institute students, I will be parting certain tips like that, which otherwise I might not have done. Clear? So that is one thing you should keep in mind. Now, once the academic qualification is over, look, academic, as I told you, it will be 10th, 12th, UG, PG. Experience, I told, latest on the top. In academic, latest down, that is a normal model. But, sir, if I write latest on, nothing is wrong in that, but this is a normal model. That's it. Clear? Now, that question I do not want to hear because when I'm going to answer those questions, I'll be missing out certain other questions which should have been answered. So that is why I'm getting all these things clarified. Okay? Fine. Now, once your academic qualification is over, what is the next thing to write? Now, here I see a lot of mistakes. I see people writing strengths, weakness, then language, positives, negatives, etc. No, these aren't the things we want. When you are an inexperienced person, I repeat, when you are an inexperienced person, what is the second best thing you can present? I told you, we need to present the best thing, if not the second best thing. An experienced person presents his experience on the top, then his academic qualification. As far as inexperienced students are concerned, the first thing you'll be presenting is your educational qualification. What is the second best thing you can present, which comes near to an experience? That is where your project, the internship plays a big part. Because that is something you need to present, whether it's your project or your internship. Now, how do I present my project? One sentence I can write, it's up to you, but that doesn't look professional. How do I present it? I need to present it in such a way that it looks professional. How? Same way as I told about experience. The first thing you should be doing, project title. You write project title. If you have got one project, that is enough. Some students, in some cases, there might be one major project and one minor project. In such a case, we should be writing both the projects. Here I'll tell you something else also. There is no compulsion that you should be presenting the major project on the top. There is nothing like that. Who told you that? Right? It isn't necessary that you present your major project first and then your minor project. As I told you, custom-made CV or custom-made resume is what we are preparing. So, the job I am applying for, if my minor project has got more similarity to that job, then I should be presenting my minor project on the top. Clear? So, it depends on the job or the organization I am applying for. Depending on that, I need to present whichever project is apt for that as the first one. I hope I am clear. Right? Now, how do I present my project? It is like this. Project title you should write, and then you should write the name of the title. Organization you should write if you have done it in an organization. In certain projects, you are not doing it in an organization. You need not go to an organization for certain projects. In such a case, this particular sentence, this particular line is not needed. In other cases, organization, name of the organization. And in certain projects wherein you don't need an organization, you are doing it by yourself, you don't write this line, right? The next heading is summary. This is something you should be explaining. What was the project? You should be writing in 1 or 2 sentences what your project was. Clear? That is known as project summary. So that the person who looks into your CV or a resume understands, oh, this is what this child has done. Right? So you should have a project summary also. So this is how you present your project or your internship. I hope this part is clear. Okay. Now, if there is an internship you have done, internship also you should be writing in the same way. And if you have done internship and project, in some cases, in some courses, there is a need for internship also, apart from the university stipulated project. So, in such a case, internship should be above your project, right? Internship is more of job. Project is semi-job type work. So, if there is an internship and the project you have done, after your academic qualification, internship should be mentioned. And in internship also, you should be mentioning like this: internship done, organization. Internship done, you should write a heading. Then organization done, period. That is for 45 days or 30 days or 90 days or whatever. The period of you have done your internship, right? And job done. What was the job or responsibilities undertaken, right? Whatever you have done, that heading you should be giving, and you should explain in 1 or 2 sentences about your internship also. Clear? Why it should be done sincerely, I'll take it in the second part, sincerity in internship or projects. That's what we'll be talking of those things. Now let us concentrate on the CV alone or resume alone. So once this is so, more or less in some cases, in those people who are experienced, this thing will go to the second page obviously. And in other cases, this might be in the first page itself. That is after academic qualification, projects and internship will also remain in the first page in some cases, right? Now, once that is over, what should be presented? The next thing to present is, as I told you earlier, always keep in mind when you are preparing a CV or a resume, you should keep in mind that my most unique aspect should be coming top. Most important on the top, the next one under that, next one under that. It should be like this only, right? It shouldn't get jumbled. One important aspect comes in the last and something which is least important comes in the middle. That shouldn't happen. Looking at this, we will judge you, what kind of a person you are, whether you are a professional person, whether you are apt to be grabbed into a professional corporate company. Your CV will tell us that. So what happens if these are not properly done? Your interview will last maybe about 1 to 2 minutes, and we will obviously tell you, okay, that's it. We'll let you know if you're selected. That's it. Clear? We will finish the interview because we do not want to waste my time. I do not want to waste my time on a candidate whom I am not going to select. Why should I sit and talk with that person? My job here is not to talk with the person. My job here is to select few people from this college. So in such a scenario, I will not waste my time talking to the candidate whom I am not going to observe. So the CV plays a big role. Again, I am reminding you. Okay, now what should be done? The next most important thing after your internship and project will be your additional qualification if you have done anything. For example, anything additional. For example, you have finished your BCom and you have done a certification on ACCA or Tally or some certification program in GST, or even if you have done a certification program from an institute in Microsoft Office, you have got a certificate, that should be presented. Look, whatever additional qualification, certification you have gained by studying, you should, I repeat, by studying. I'm not talking of your co-curricular activities. That comes after this. Those certifications you should not present. Here, additional qualification. Now, suppose you are a child who doesn't have any additional qualification. In such a case, do not write this additional qualification, because I have seen certain CVs wherein the child has written additional qualification and left blank because no additional qualification. In such a scenario, what was the fun in writing that heading? You should not have written that heading. Because when you write that heading and leave it blank, I will obviously ask you, no, have you missed something here? Additional qualification. Then the child sits in front of me, scratches the head or something like this. Illa, I just wrote the heading, etc. It's a very awkward position for a candidate. So do not present yourself in an awkward position. So if you do not have any additional qualification which has got a certificate, Do not write this heading. Write the next one. That's it. Clear? Now, once additional qualification is over, in case of a person who has worked, who has got experience, the heading should be awards, achievements, etc. Right? And in case, okay, we'll take that for both itself. We do not need to segregate or differentiate between an experienced person and an inexperienced person. I'll tell you the next one. After your educational qualification is over, the next heading should be awards and achievements or awards and recognitions. In that, you can write whatever you have. Remember, in awards and recognition, it need not be in a chronological order. You can write the most important thing as the number one. For example, during my school days, I was national, suppose, not me, I'm just giving an example. I was a national champion in one particular arts or sports. And I finished my 12th, because during 10th standard, I finished my 12th, I finished my graduation. In graduation, I represented only university, I was not a national champion. Even during plus 2, I represented only the school, which neither won the state tournament itself. And in PG, I am just part of the team. We are not entered in it. Right? In such a case, the 10th standard national recognition should come first. You should not think, okay, 10th first, then 12th, then graduation, then PG, or PG first, then UG, then plus 2, then 10. Nothing like that. The most important thing, the first one. The next important thing, the next one. It need not be class-wise. It need not be your age-wise. Clear? It needs to be, the importance has to be given to the award or recognition, not the year. I hope I am clear. Clear? So the first one should be the most important one. Look, when you write awards and recognitions or achievements, that you need not draw rows and columns. You should not draw rows, columns, etc. You should write with the bullet marks. A bullet mark, 400-meter sprint at the national championship during CBSE school meet this particular year. One gold medal or one silver medal or whatever. Clear? Then next bullet mark, next award. Next bullet mark, next award. Look, these certifications can be from the field of sports, arts, social service, or any other aspect where you have won a certificate. Now, I'll give you another example. The National UN Volunteers conducted a certification, this thing for a contest for school and college students. College students, I'm not that sure. School students, it was the pertinent to World Suicide Day, to write article or draw, paint or something like that. Yeah? All the students who participated received a UN certificate. That is something which is very, very, very unique. So that will be on the top only. Clear? These kind of certification wherein there is no contest at all, even that can be presented as the most important certificate. Right? So it can be from the field of arts, sports, or any other certificate you have gained. It need not be an award winning itself. A participative certificate in certain aspect will also be equally important. Look, the UN conducts a program and you participate, that's very important. It's just a participating certificate, no issue, you can mention that. At least most of the other students who are competing with you for this particular position in that interview, they would not have had this certificate, no? So you are at an advantageous position if you write this or if you present this rather. Clear? So this is also something which should be there on your CV. Achievements, awards, recognitions, whatever, you should be writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever with bullet marks. So once that is over, what should be written? Languages. It's very important because in today's times, companies are looking into people who are multilingualistic. That is, person who can speak multiple languages. The more, the better. Because the person can speak from Thrissur, he speaks English, Hindi, Malayalam, Tamil. Malayalam obviously, English also. Hindi, Tamil, etc. Then, as a corporate person, I have a feel if similarly 3 people are sitting in front of me wherein all the other credentials are same, then I will pick this person because I can put him in Maharashtra office, I can put him in Tamil Nadu office, I can also put him in Kochi office. Clear? Because he has got linguistic ability in other languages. So linguistic ability is something companies are looking into. And if you have got a foreign language linguistic ability, that also should be mentioned. Look, linguistic ability, generally companies are only looking into your oral communication skill. They are not going to look into your written or this thing, what do you call reading. Because unless you are into that kind of some documentation related jobs, then there is the some documentation related or where you need to type without errors, etc. That kind of job, your linguistic talent, oral communication alone is not enough. Your written, your reading, etc. is essential. Otherwise, generally, we are only looking into your oral communication skill. Well, in such a scenario, all you need to write is languages known hyphen Malayalam, English, Hindi, Tamil, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, Bihari, whatever. German, French, whatever. Right? It's enough. But instead, I have seen certain students draw rows and columns here also, wherein headings are language, read, write, speak. And he or she writes Malayalam, read, they give tick, write, they give tick, speak, they give tick. English, again, it continues. Hindi, they will write, read, write, and speak, they draw a blank or a hyphen or something. And in Tamil, read is not the, write is not the, and the speak alone. Now, why do you want to tell the other person that I cannot read Tamil or I cannot write Tamil? Instead, a simple hyphen is enough. Clear? So that is also something I wanted to tell you. Now, excuse me for 2 minutes. Just have a cup of water. 2 minutes, I am cutting the video. After that, I'll continue. Please hold on for 2 minutes. Well, I'm back. Yeah, maybe 30 seconds more than 2 minutes. Fine. Now, where do we stop? Academic qualification, internship, additional qualification, linguistic. Yeah. linguistic. So linguistic, just hyphen, that's it. Now, once your language is known is over, what should be presented? Now, there are resumes wherein I have seen hobbies. Do you really think we care about your hobbies when we come for an interview to select people? Hobbies were acceptable in Biodata, not in CV or resume. No, we are not here for fun. We are not come here to understand what is your hobby, whether you draw, whether you browse. Imagine a child presenting my hobbies, reading, browsing internet, listening to music, traveling, watching movies. Does that have any influence on the job you are going to do? Well, when it doesn't have any influence on the job you are going to do, why should I want to talk about those things? I'm least bothered whether you listen to music or whether you browse the internet or anything. All my focus will be on whether you as a person, your knowledge, your experience, or your other co-curricular things suits with the demands to do that particular job. For which position I have come here for an interview. Clear? So to me, if you're going to talk of hobbies, etc., it's just waste of time, or rather, it looks awkward in that CV. Right? So just avoid hobbies that isn't necessary for any professional CV. We are least bothered about your hobbies. Right? And in fact, some people might get irritated to some extent. You look, we are all human beings. On each day, we might behave differently. It happens. There might be certain mood swings. At times, who knows, I might have had a bad day today and it might get reflected. Look, at the age of 49, it might not, but maybe at the age of 35, it would have. So that also is a problem. Clear? So do not agitate or irritate the person. Just avoid hobby in your CV. We don't want to know about your hobby. If at all during discussion they ask about, look, what do you do generally in your spare time? What are the hobbies you have, etc.? That's fine. In an interview, you can tell. You did not write that in your CV. Clear? Or once that is over, no CV. Sorry, no hobbies. Then what? There are others who write my strength, my weakness. Yes, not weakness, obviously, strength. Yeah? Or certain others write my other skills. Then they write leadership skill, interpersonal skill, stress management skill, etc. And strength, they write excellent leader, critical thinking, creative thinking, managing stress, excellent interpersonal skill, building the team building skill, etc. Now, all these are fine if they are true. All these are fine if you can prove that. All these are fine if the credentials are correct. Clear? Otherwise, do not write any of these things. Look, your CV or your resume is something you present to the interviewer, which can be used as a bouquet of flowers and handed out to you, or as a cane to hit you. So whatever you give will be given back. Whatever you present there will be asked for, and you are supposed to explain. Clear? So remember, always give a bouquet of flowers so that the interviewer will be forced to hand over you the same bouquet. If you are going to give the CV as a cane, which can be used to hit you, then what CV during the interview? Clear? Here is where you write excellent leadership skill and problem-solving skill, stress managing skill. If you write that, the interviewer will obviously look at the CV, look at your eyes and ask, now give me 2 examples wherein you exhibited your problem-solving skill. Now, suppose if this was gas, that is, suppose this was something you had not done, you just added simply, will very well be revealed in front of the person who is interviewing you, because you'll be sitting over there in an AC room, you'll be sweating, you might be scratching your head, or you might be simply looking into his eyes in a very sympathetic manner. Sir, please. Right? In that aspect, you might be looking into the eyes of the interviewer. Why do you want to put yourself into such a position? This happened because you had written something which wasn't true, or which was true, but you couldn't present properly. Either case, you will be on the back foot. Right? I told you, always on the front foot, not on the back foot. Clear? So, if you can't prove your credentials on the aspects you have written, whether it's your strength or your skills or something, don't write. If you got yes, I have written leadership skill. Now suppose that person asks, now give me 2 instances wherein you have exhibited your excellent leadership skill, and you are telling during the management fest conducted by the college, I was the one who headed this thing, I headed this thing, I looked after these things, right? Or you are good in sports. I am the captain of the college cricket team. I am the captain of the college football team, which won the intercollegiate or the inter-university or whatever. When you say that, it proves that you've got an excellent leadership skill. Or your problem solving skill also, similarly, if you can prove, they will accept. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. So when you are presenting your strength, weakness, skills, etc., ensure that you will be able to present it orally, and if possible with the documented part, your certificate, etc., to prove that all those things which are written in the CV, which are printed in the resume, are correct, are facts, are true. Clear? This you should be able to prove. Otherwise, what happens is it will backfire. As I told you, if it were truth, it will be a bouquet for you. If it were not truth, or if you couldn't prove that, the particular sentence you have written will be used as a cane to hit you, and you will be on the back foot. Already you are stressed because you wanted that job at any cost. And here, the interviewer is hitting you with the false data or credential-less data you are presented in your CV. Don't do this. Clear? Unless there is something you can prove, please do not write this kind of thing. We are least interested. We do not want to know about your strength and weakness. Those things we will find out. The HR person will find out, right? And based on the interview, GD, etc., whatever little we require, we'll gather from them. Whatever other things we need, we will mentor you, we will mold you into the corporate culture. That's not an issue for us. Clear? So why should you do something? Why should you present something which is not that important? Don't do that in your CV. Even if during an oral communication, during the interview, they ask you, look, apart from this co-curricular, what were you doing? Were you good in what all you did, etc., etc., you can talk. Otherwise, keep mum, do not present it in your CV. Right? So that's strength, weakness, etc. Now we have covered more or less most important part, right? Now then comes the other part, personal details. Right? Next is personal details. Now what are the personal details we'll be giving? I have seen CVs wherein again in the personal details the child writes name, this, address, this, telephone number, this, email ID. Look, all these things you have written on the top first page as a letterhead. Why do you want to repeat it again, copy paste again? Why do you want to make it simply fill the paper with some data which is not relevant, or rather which is being duplicated here? Already you had mentioned them. Now you need not present it again. Clear? So here personal details, you will not do that. Now what are the essential personal details we are looking for? In a biodata I told you, father's name, mother's name, etc. will come. These things, her husband's name, in cases wherein the lady is married, she writes husband's name. Right? Your address, we don't need this kind of thing. Your caste, religion, no. We need not understand your caste, religion, etc. when you are hiring in a corporate company. Right? We are not here to conduct a census. We are here to hire apt, qualified, professional people. So that is what we are looking forward in the CV or a resume. So what are the essential details? One is your age and DOB, date of birth. That is very essential. You should write age, DOB, whatever, or simply age itself is not an issue, or simply date of birth itself is not an issue. You can write date of birth, that's not an issue. If it is an age, date of birth, you should write this is the age, this is the date of birth, that's adjacent to that, right? Or other parallel. Then, sex. It's very essential that you mention this. Male, female, or others, whatever, right? Why? Because at times name might not reveal. Look, when you're sitting in front of me, I will know whether it's a male or female or others, right? But suppose you're applying for a job, how will I know that? I will not be knowing. Names are misleading nowadays. I'll give you an example. Sibi. Sibi is the name of a male as well as a female. Now, looking at the name Sibi, I cannot assume that this might be a male, so or this might be a female when you apply for a job. So it's essential that you write sex, right? So what is your sex like? That also you should mention. Then marital status. It's very important. marital status should also be there. These are the only 3 personal details a company or a good corporate company or a professional company is looking for. Your sets, your date of birth, and your marital status. These are enough. We do not want your parents' name. We do not want your spouse's name. We do not want your address being repeated, like permanent address, present address, etc. It's already mentioned that it's enough. Clear? Next one aspect is passport details and driving license. Driving license can be mentioned. It's a good thing because wherein it's a marketing job or wherein there's a need to travel, if you as a student are mentioning driving license and with the license number, then it's good because the company will know, okay, this particular boy or a girl has got a valid driving license. So traveling in a vehicle or driving a vehicle will not be an issue. So you can mention if you have got a valid driving license. Passport details. So this is something you should be very careful while mentioning. If you are applying for an overseas job, you should mention passport details. You should write your passport, right? Maybe you should write valid till this particular year. If you are applying for an overseas job alone. But many a times, you know what happens? I have seen resumes, students come, they write passport details for working in companies who want to hire students for their Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Karnataka operations. So once I see the passport details, I will obviously ask, what do you say your father is doing? What do you say your brother is doing? Okay, so they are abroad. Fine. Okay, good. We'll tell that. We'll continue the interview for 1 or 2 minutes and I'll just wind it up. Because I am damn sure this child, the sole intention to come and join my company is to gain experience. This child will leave the moment he or she gets a good offer from the country where his or her parents or dad or brother is residing. So it's only for the experience part this child has come, and that is the reason why during the graduation period or during the PG period itself, the child has taken a passport. Well, there is a small change in that. Sometimes a child may have studied till 10th standard in Middle East or somewhere and then come. Then obviously the child will be having a passport. So that is why we check who is doing what, etc. etc. Your entire education is in Kerala and still you have got a passport at the age of 19, at the age of 21. Then obviously your intention is to go abroad and work. And if your intention is to go abroad and work, the reason for attending the interview with me is only to gain experience. Because there might be asking for a person with 1 or 2 experience in this particular industry. So you have come here to gain experience. In otherwise, you have come here to treat my company as a training ground or an experience training ground. Why should I observe you? We won't. Clear? So if you are attending a job for an Indian company, wherein passport is needed, do not mention the passport details even if you have got. Right? If you don't have, you will not mention. Even if you have got, do not mention the passport details if you are attending the interview in an Indian company. So these are the things, as I told you, custom-made resume or custom-made CV. But what generally students do, they prepare a resume and they keep it with them, take 10 or 12 copies and then use the same CV or a resume. In each and every company, they go for an interview. It's not the right way. And at times, that might be the reason why you are not selected also. Clear? So this also, keep in mind, passport details mentioned only if it is essential. Right. Now, personal details. So, next one. Look, as freshers, as students of a college, you should mention references. In a biodata, you know who the reference will be? In olden times, biodata, there also references will be there. They will write Mr. So-and-so, a prominent person in a police department or an administration department or a panchayat or a judge or whatever. Because that person is a uncle or aunt or whatever, something, some grandparent, relatives. Here we are not looking for such references. Those were olden times when you have been using a biodata. In a CV or a resume, we are not looking for your relatives' excellent positions, right? We are looking for people who are professionals, who can give correct feedback about you, honest feedback about you. So as students, whom you should be mentioning is, one can be your principal or your HOD with the name, designation, college name, and telephone number. It should be like that. Name, designation, that is principal, HOD or whatever, college name, St. Thomas College, Thrissur, and telephone number. And in telephone number, mobile number alone will not be sufficient. You should mention landline number. And when you are mentioning a landline number, the STD code should be there. A person sitting in Mumbai need not know 0487 is the code for Thrissur. Clear? So you should mention that. Before the telephone number, you should mention 0487 as a STD. Or in bracket, you should write 0487, then the telephone number of the college. Why? Why mobile number alone isn't enough? It's because of certain frauds committed by certain students. Right? You write your principal's name, you write he is the principal or he is the HOD, then instead of his or her number, you give your friend's number, give excellent feedback and inform that right. Those kind of things happen. So that is the reason why companies are very, and you cannot say my college or my institution. So landline number should be there. This is how you should present. At least 2 references. Second can be one of your or somebody like that. Okay? Look, 99.9% times any institution will not tell. I repeat, 99.99 times. Small naughtiness you can commit during your college days, etc. They have forgotten and forgiven your lecturers or your professors, your HODs, your principal. They will not mind that. All their concern is that, okay, the child studied here, let the child have a bright future, let the child get into a good company. So if they ask me about him, I'll tell, or about her, I'll tell good things only. I mentioned once again 99.99 and there is 0.01%. And those are extremely bad students about whom I cannot give good feedback because they have been causing that much harm to the society, to other students, and to the institution. In such a case, obviously, yes, nobody will tell good things. Yeah? Otherwise, 99.9 times, the institution will tell good things only. So you will not worry about those things unless you are a criminal. If you are not a hardcore criminal, if you are indulged in certain small, not these things happen in college days. We don't take it seriously. 99% of the teachers or the management don't take it. Although at that time they will study you, they might tell you, they might hold you. But once your education is over, their only concern is let this child get placed in a good company. They won't do something which will harm your career. That much I can assure you. Right? So that is something you should keep it. So once the references are over, what comes next? The next part is declaration. You should give a declaration. In that declaration, you should write the details provided above are true to the best of my knowledge and belief. It's enough. Now, some students, they go a bit more and have seen the writing. If I details above are false, obviously they will terminate. So for that, they don't require your permission. So you'll not be that much too honest to be true, right? That much is not needed. You should you just mention that the details provided above are true to the best of my knowledge and belief. It's enough. Clear? Once this is over, below that, there are certain things which should be writing. Date, right? Sorry, place. Place comes next. And adjacent to place, you put a hyphen, colon, that is 2 dots. Then you write Thrissur, it's enough. You need not write Pavarati or Manuti or Idinjalapuda or Chalapudi, Vadakanjeri, etc. You look, there is nothing wrong in writing. Well, if you are writing that, you need to put a comma and write Thrissur, right? Otherwise, you can mention Thrissur, Kerala. That's enough. That's on the far left-hand corner. Far right-hand corner, parallel to that, you are not going to write anything, you are going to leave it blank. Clear? So here, it's the place you have written this side, and parallelly, the part you are going to leave it blank. Now, under this place, you are going to write date. And there you put a colon, and there you are supposed to type date, not write. I repeat, you are going to type. Look, when you type date, it's a custom-made resume. When you write date with your pen, it is not a custom-made resume. It is a resume you had prepared earlier, but today you have written today's date. You have written today's date. Tomorrow you will write tomorrow's date. 1 month after you will write that day's date. It's a resume you had prepared very early. It's very easy for us to understand all these things. Clear? So what you should be doing is, once you prepare a custom-made CV or a CV, you should have a soft copy in your pen drive or in your laptop or in your system, or at least in your mail. So when you have got an interview tomorrow, before taking a print, in the date part, type tomorrow's date, because the interviewer should feel this particular CV has been prepared for this particular interview only, because the date you have typed. But if you are writing the date, it gives a feel that this guy or this girl has printed the CV long back and is using it again and again and again and again. Right? You give that feel to us, right? Look, I have seen extreme of it. I have seen, for example, this is June 2024. When I come for an interview, a candidate comes and hands over a CV in which it is mentioned December 17, 12, 2023. Date is 17, 12, 20, because that day's CV, the child has taken so many prints, and the child has not even bothered to change that when that child is coming for an interview today. Imagine, will we take that child? We will never ever take that child, even if the child is good. Because it showed a very casual attitude. An attitude is something we value much. A casual attitude is something we will not tolerate. Any corporate company will not tolerate a casual attitude, especially so in today's competitive times. Clear? So take time. Now, as I told you, the place you will be writing, adjacent to that on this side, you will leave it blank. Under place, you are writing date. Parallel to that, you are typing date. And under this blank space, you will write your name. For example, in my case, Rajesh P. Now, why did I leave a space blank above that? That is for me to put a signature while applying or while going for an interview. Clear? This is how a professional resume is prepared. Now, two things also you should understand. How do you staple it? Never staple it from above, never staple it from the side. Always staple it from this way, slanting. Because in that way only, the page when you change over, you can see the entire thing. If you are going to staple it like this, certain parts will not be visible. If you are going to staple it like this, again, certain parts will not be visible. It will be like this only, okay? From the corner, from that edge, you should be stapling, slanting. That is how a professional CV should be stapled. Look, even stapling matters so much. That is why I am giving each and every point that much importance. Clear? Now, there might be a couple of questions which I will answer now itself, because I don't want that question to be asked. Sir, whether we should give photograph on the CV. 99% of the times you do not keep a photograph. You will be requiring a photograph only when they ask for. And when do they ask for? When you are applying for that kind of a job. For example, a celebrity job, a job which requires you to stand in front of a camera, a job wherein you are an anchor, you are a newsreader, you are a friend of his staff, etc. Wherein looks matter. Your personality matters. That is your physical appearance matters, not your personality, I would say. Because personality is based on behavior only. Your physical appearance matters. Only in such cases they will ask for a photograph. Otherwise, they will not ask for a photograph. Hence, if they have not asked for a photograph, you did not send a photograph. Right? And I have seen resumes wherein photograph has been stuck in the front first page. In certain cases, it's one more step. As in that movie, one particular movie, they say, "Adukkum mele," right? How? A CV with a photograph has been taken photostat. And in the photostat, you see the photographs photostat. Those are all unprofessional CVs. Please do not do that. I don't want any of you committing that mistake. And one more thing. Suppose they had asked for a passport size photograph along with your CV to be sent. Then what you should be doing is do not staple the photograph. A photograph should not be having pierced marks. So what you do is you staple the CV, then there is a two-page CV. You keep the photograph along with this, you put a gem clip. There should not be any perforations on the photograph. Clear? This is how a professional CV with photograph, if asked for, will look like. And if they have not asked for a photograph, you did not do this. Clear? I hope I am clear regarding how a professional CV or a professional resume should look like. We'll give you time after the session is over to ask doubts. Now the first part is over. Now what was the second topic? It was sincerity in doing an internship for your projects. Are you people sincere? I am not asking you so that you should answer after the session. To ask this question yourself. Why does the university stipulate a project? Why does the university stipulate an internship? Understand, my dear children, what you gain in college is just the theoretical knowledge. It's just the theoretical knowledge. And you need to gain experience. And to gain experience, the only way is to utilize your projects and internship as a work experience thing, right? But many a times, students treat it as something which they are not interested, but they are forced to do. Well, yes, we'll talk of one by one. Project will start. You go for a project. University stipulates you to do a project. Many times there are two ways wherein students commit malpractice. I know that. There are agencies who conduct projects for students who will give you ready-made projects. You can use that. I know that. I'm not telling all of them are doing that. But there are such people who use it and who are doing this. Right? So that is one wrong way. Second is wherein you do a project in an institution wherein you have got to reach where your uncle is working or your father is working or your father's friend's institution is that, so that you need not go there daily. Attendance need not be given. End of the day, whatever project you give, it will be accepted. They will signing you because you have got a good connection. These are two malpractices committed by students. Look, when you do this, you feel you have done something great. You have done something. Means bluff your teachers, and Viva also you get through. You bluff them also. You feel so, right? Actually, whom are you bluffing? If you ask me, you are bluffing yourself. You are conducting a big mistake. Look, do you know many a times in Viva why you pass? I'm not talking of all students, but in certain students. Look, the person, external person who comes for a Viva, they have a good relationship with the college. Any college, all the colleges. So obviously, they have a humanitarian consideration towards the students. They show it. Many times they feel, why should I fail? No issues. In certain cases, yes. Because of this student shouldn't lose it. Right? They have that kind of a good humanitarian approach to this. Otherwise, it is easy for a good professional person to find out at the look of the your project, and when they ask questions, it's very easy to find out whether you have done the project very sincerely or not. Right? I'll give you an important example which I had. A few years back, I was conducting an interview. It was an MBA student. I still remember that girl's face. I don't remember her name. It was many years back. This girl sat in front of me. I was interviewing her. I just looked into the project part, which was obviously on the first page. I just checked out. In that, she had mentioned sample survey taken 60 days project. 45 days project, sorry, 45 days project MBA, something like that. 100 sample surveys taken, etc., etc., etc. So I asked her, now how did you conduct 100 samples? Sir, 25 working days, 1 month. Each working day, I give a questionnaire in the tea break to one person in the factory, in the lunch break to 2 persons, and evening tea break, morning tea break 1, evening tea break 1. So 4 persons per day, 25 days, 100 sample survey, yes, survey. Then in the next 15 days, I assessed, I assimilated, I compiled, I bound, and I presented. Fine. I asked her, I looked at her eyes and I asked her, is it true? Look, without an iota of doubt, she told it was true. And then I had to reveal to her something. That was one institute wherein we had a good relationship. That was an institute wherein we have been conducting training programs. That was an institute wherein we have a good relation with the HR department. And I knew that particular year, around 67 or 75 to 80 workers only were there in their plant. And this girl is telling me she conducted a sample survey of 100 people in the plant. There were only 75 or 80 people in the plant. So I asked her on the face, look, my dear child, in this particular organization, there are only 75 to 80 workers in the factory. Now, how did you conduct? You know what she did? Others are English boy, Malayalam. University had stipulated that we should be having 100 samples. So, from 75, 25, her own addition. Right? It's so easy to find out. So, if you bluff in your project, in your Viva, you might get through because they do not want to fail you. But in an interview, they will not. They will be very harsh because for them, they want to get people who are skilled, who have a good attitude, who are skillful, who are adaptable, who have got interpersonal skill, and who have got a very high integrity standards. And if you are not showing the standards in your projects or internship, why should I hire you? We will not. Because such frauds should not be taken is the policy. Why should I spoil my company taking frauds who couldn't be sincere even with their projects? Clear? That is what we feel. We will not take. So I request my dear students to be 100% faithful to your projects because you'll be caught red-handed during an interview if you don't. Now that is being caught. Now take it the other way. Suppose I do my project properly. I do it with 100% sincerely and I give a project, the copy, one of the copy I give it to the HR department or to the GM or to the CEO of the organization wherein I had done my project. And when they look through that and they understand certain things which they had not understood before, they gain certain insights about their organization from the meticulous way you had done your project, then they will be impressed by you. These things are happening outside Kerala, more outside Kerala. Nowadays it's happening inside Kerala also. Like many times in cities like Coimbatore, Bangalore, etc., these things are happening. And you know what happens? They will be so impressed that they will tell you in many times, look, you have done a good job. Do one thing, once you finish your academics and your results are over, please contact us. This is my number. This is my card. Many times children get placed there because they have done their project sincerely and the organization, the CEO or COO or CFO or GMHR or whoever, they feel this child is good, sincere, dedicated, does hard work and very professional. If that feel you can give during the project times, 9 out of 10 times there is a probability that you will be given offer letter. They will give you an offer letter. Professional organizations do this because they are looking for such good people. Right? So do a project 100% sincerely so that that might be the tool for you to enter that organization as an employee. First time you are entering as a person, as a student who is going to do his project. Imagine that turning out to be leading to an offer letter for you to join that company, a dream company. Clear? It can happen. And it can happen only if they feel the project is something by which they have gained something. And for them to gain something, you should have done a very professional, meticulous work. Okay? The study has to be perfect. So that is one more reason. One, you might be caught during an interview. Second, you might get a job if you do a project properly, professionally. So that is also one reason I will tell you to do your project sincerely. Same applies to internship. The university stipulates you to go there and work for 45 days. That particular organization is your father's company. He tells, okay, come after 10 days, sign for, okay, you go after 10 days, you sign all the 9 days. Another 10 days, you sign all the 9 days. Another 10 days, similarly, you finish your 45 days. They will give you in writing that this child has done an internship here for this much days, etc., etc., etc. You go. That person gives, you get this. The university, for the university, that might be enough. But that person or that company's GMHR or somebody will not hire you because internship itself you couldn't do properly. You are so lazy. You have such a bad attitude. We will not take such people. You are living in a highly competitive world, wherein, as Darwin said, survival of the fittest is. Clear? In such a scenario, if you prove that you are not competent enough to live in today's corporate world, you are not even competent enough to attend daily the internship, no company will hire. Clear? And it will be reflected in the interview. When you do internship like this, and then you go for an interview, the interviewer asks about the internship. If you have not done properly, they have got 100 tools or 100 questions to find out that you have not done it properly. And they will corner you. And then they will screw you. They will screw you too bad. Clear? This will happen. Clear? So, don't do this. Do your internship or your project with 100% sincerity so that this itself will be enough for you to get a job in that company. That is why I always emphasize students to do their projects and internship with 100% sincerity. Right? Now one more. All these are regarding how you can get employed or something like that if you do it 100% sincerely your projects. I'll give you one more reason. Look, we always say we should be truthful to that person, we should be committed to this person. At least be truthful and committed to yourself. That is the least you can do to yourself. Look, you can cheat anybody, but can you cheat yourself? You know that you are not done the internship properly. You know that you are not done the project properly. It will die. It will reflect one day. Your conscience will prick one day. And that is when you will realize that I should have done a better job with my project, with my internship, when I was given an opportunity to do so. Because, my dear students, this project and this internship will not come to you again. Certain opportunities comes to you only once in a lifetime. The project you get during your education time, your college times, the internship you are supposed to do during your college education times will not be repeated again. And once you finish this and then you realize, yes, I should have done a better job. Because since I didn't do a better job there, it is always being reflected in my interviews. I am caught red-handed each and every time when I go for an interview. And that is the reason I am not getting into a good company. This will happen to you also. Right? And if you do not want this to happen, my only request to you is to be very, very truthful to your project and your internship instead of cheating others. Right? So that much part we have covered. Now, look, I was supposed to finish the session by 11:40 and give 20 minutes time for questions. Now it's 11:30. So I think I finished my session 10 minutes before. Maybe the calculation, but somewhere, since it is an online, it's too hard. If it were an offline, we would have gone for an interactive session wherein I could have finished the session by 11:40, and then gone for a queries part. But now that I have finished it in 11:30, I think we have got about 30 minutes for queries part. Let's face it, there are about 800 students waiting, I think. So it's time for queries. Let's see. Queries, questions can be raised. Now, students, one more thing. If one particular question has been answered, similar questions will not be answered again. You are supposed to listen to each and every question which is being asked, because do not focus on your particular question, right? Similar question might have been asked by somebody else earlier. I would have answered. So I do not want to answer the same question again and again in a different manner, because the question is being presented in a different manner, right? So it's time for queries time. You can ask your questions.
I hope we can commence with the doubt clearing session. If the participants have any more questions, do comment them. So the first question is from Praveena P. She asks, can you say about the appropriate usage of uppercase and lowercase letters in a resume?
Pardon, I didn't get you, Anamika.
Can you say about the appropriate usage of uppercase and lowercase letters in a resume?
Okay, fonts, about fonts. Fine. Okay, sorry. Good question. What is the name of the child?
Praveena P.
An applause for her, because that was something I should have mentioned. I told we'll be talking on the phone. Look, as far as the fonts, underlining, and certain background giving aspect, I will tell. Look, fonts, always see to that your name, I told you, it can be of the maximum number. All others has to be on the lower number. Whichever font you use, whether it is Times Roman or Arial Black or whatever, that is up to you. That is something which I will not be interfering. Yes, I will never prefer an italics type of writing, because it's your professional resume, it's not a rangoli. So we do not want to see, you might feel it is stylish, but that isn't stylish, right? So no italics or something like that. Now regarding headings, we'll be having headings like academic qualification, projects done, additional qualification, languages known, personal details and stuff. All the headings should be of one particular font and one particular size. For example, if everything is Times Roman 12, then each and every heading should be Times Roman 12. And the description under should be 1 or 2 numbers below. If it is same Times Roman you are using, if the heading is Times Roman 12, the description or the details you are giving, presenting below that should be Times Roman 10 or 8 or 9 or something like that. Whether you need to underline or not, you can underline the headings if needed, but you should maintain the underlining aspect in each and every heading. One heading you underline, academic qualification you underline, additional qualification you don't underline, personal details you put in a box, something like that. Don't do that. It doesn't look good. It looks awkward. If you're underlining one heading, underline each and every heading. Clear? And thanks once again to the child.
The next question is from Srihari MV. What do you think about the status of training students towards preparing for acquiring job in different sectors according to the education curriculum of Kerala?
Namika, once again.
What do you think about the status of training students towards preparing for acquiring job in different sectors according to the education curriculum of Kerala?
Okay, fine. Look, it's not pertaining to resume preparation, it's pertaining to something else. Look, I would suggest there is a need. Now, why do you think from BSc, BA to BVOC, there is a transformation? It's new to Kerala, but not new to India, right? Why? Because generally we feel, although the knowledge part is on the higher side in Kerala, the employability aspect, as an HR person, I will tell you, 10 out of 10 times we are not happy. Employability aspect, not on the education aspect. I gave a written test, you people perform well, but the same person might not perform that well in Coimbatore or Bangalore or Chennai. But when we go for an employability aspect, wherein the studied part you need to apply, the other person scores, right? So in all aspects is being reflected. So hence there is a need to train the students, at least on the life skill and soft skill part, at least on the employability skill part. If not an orient, look, honestly speaking, I would suggest an induction program or an orientation program which is given. And the orientation or induction program, earlier it was like 3 days, 4 days at a stretch. Presently, since the last 4-5 years, we don't recommend that. At least with the colleges we are associated with, we don't do that, because I don't believe in giving 5 days full, so many modules being given to the students, a GAN download being happening. Nothing is going to happen. After 1.5 days, it will just bounce back as if a rubber ball is thrown on a wall. Instead of that, what we prefer nowadays is 1 day is enough. After 15 days, 1 day. After 15 days, 1 day. Like that, 3 or 4 days is enough within a period of 4 months or 3 to 4 months after the child has joined for the first term. So that 1 day is whatever we focus, the child gets time to practice, to understand for the 15 days. The next part comes next. So if you're going to give an entire thing within 3 to 4 days, it will not happen. So induction program, it should be regular. Placement drive also should happen, placement training. As I told you, this is a 1.5 hour session on resume preparation. There are institutes wherein we conduct 1 full day workshop on resume preparation. We make the child sit in a computer lab. Means it is strenuous work for us because this is rather easy for me. I'm sitting in front of you giving a lecture for 1.5 hours. That's it. Even in a class of 1.5 hours resume preparation, the talk is easy. It's more lively. I can interact, I can talk, I enjoy. But that is not that. It's a practical workshop where the child prepares a resume. There are mistakes. He gives tips. He again prepares. He or she prepares. So if it's but you know what happens? That child will never forget that. And each and every time, even after the class is over, even after 1 year, when the need is there for preparing a resume, this gets into the blood, and the child will practice this. So placement drive, that also it requires a training like GD skills, presentation skill, problem solving skills, resume preparation, interview skills, along with the mock interview, because the child needs to get a feel of the mock interview. And when the mock interview, I'm not questioning the colleges, because what happens is that you people are familiar, the teachers are familiar. So when the teachers are familiar, what happens is that the child is at an ease. Because anybody with a teacher, anybody with a master. So a stress is down. So when the stress is not there, the child is quite normal. I don't want the child to be normal during the mock interview because I want the child to be normal in the actual interview process. So that the child gets selected. So in the mock interview, it's always better to get an HR person from a company. I'm not telling me, you get an HR person from any of the companies you are associated with. The placement officer might be in good touch with many companies. Get them for a mock interview. Let them conduct them so that the child is at a stress. And individually in the mock interview also, what we do is we just don't conduct the interview and go. We on set of parameters, we note it down. Once the mock interview is over, hardly 35 to 40 students in a day only, not more than that. Maybe 50, not more than that. The next day, what we give individual feedback. Your eye contact was that much. This thing, your communication skill was good, or your objection handling was like this, etc. What were the mannerisms you exhibited which were good, which you need to rectify, etc. Only after that we give a class on interview skills, how it is to be done. So in Kerala, it is very essential. Skill training need to be imparted. I would suggest right from school days, not from college days itself. So whatever the education department has been doing regarding this, whether regarding promoting trainings, it is very essential for the students. In what ways might
question is from
of custom-made professional resumes and perceived?
John James Archikana.
Pardon?
He has asked the question, in what ways might the prioritization of custom-made professional resumes and perceived sincerity in projects and internships inadvertently reinforces biases and privilege certain individuals, potentially marginalizing those with different backgrounds or limited resources and impeding equitable career progress?
Can you just type it out? I'd
Yes,
rather
sir,
read
it's
it.
in the chat box.
Wait a minute, no data. Wait. Yes. Fine. Okay. In what ways the prioritization of custom-made professional resumes and perceived sincerity in projects and only reinforces biases and privilege certain individuals, potentially marginalizing those with. Look, that is something I cannot answer in an online session, honestly speaking, because certain statements might be misinterpreted as political statements or something like this. So, look, we are living in India. We have got certain things. We understand there are certain things happening in the society. We do not look into the color of the flag. It's happening across, right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, or right from Arunachal Pradesh to Rajasthan, this side. Everywhere certain things are happening. It's happening in the government sector, it's happening in the private sector, marginalization is happening. There are certain things which needs to be changed. All these are there. Ultimately, as students, I will suggest you, in classes like this, focus on your career path, focus on the impact which is being given, at least you people are gaining something. There are certain students who who are not blessed to study in such institutions wherein such trainings are not given. Obviously, they will be marginalized too. And in that case, I would say you too are acting in a way of marginalizing the others because you are gaining something. So I don't want to ask the name of the student because if this was a question he or she has asked me privately, personally, offline, we could have had a discussion, a healthy discussion. But in an online session wherein it is going YouTube live, I cannot make such discussions because I have got clients both in the government sector as well as in the private sector.
The next question is
pertaining to the subject questions.
okay, sir.
കാരണം ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്ക് ഇതോട് ഗുണം ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ആ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തെറ്റില്ല. ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിച്ചത് വളരെ ആപ്റ്റാണ്, ഞാൻ അതിന് ഒരിക്കലും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല, കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. പക്ഷേ എനിക്കിപ്പോ അത് ആൻസർ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ചില വേറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയേണ്ടി വരും, അത് ഐ കാൻ ഡു ദാറ്റ്.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Joel Joseph. He asked, should we add our LinkedIn profile ID on CV along with phone number and email?
Should we add
LinkedIn profile ID on
yes. Okay. Thank you. Who was that person?
Joel Joseph.
Joel, fine. Look, this is something I did not mention because this particular topic was only pertaining to resume, not employability skill as such. Look, during interview, now companies are asking for your social media handles. It's not only your LinkedIn. They are asking all your social media handles, whether it's a LinkedIn or FB or Insta or whatever. Why? They are checking it. Why they are checking it? To see whether you are spreading any hate messages, whether it is political or religious. And corporate companies are very particular about that. They do not want to take a boy or a girl who is spreading hate messages, political or religious hate messages. I repeat, hate messages. If you believe in one political party, you post a good message about that party, no issue. If you believe in one particular religion, you post a good thing about your God, your religion, that's not an issue. But if you are going to post a hate message wherein you are talking bad of another religion or another political party, that's a hate message. And hate message posting people, honestly, no company will employ you because you are too narrow-minded to work in a broader spectrum. So we are looking for people who can work with any team. You should be adaptable. But such narrow-minded people are not adaptable. Hence, you can keep LinkedIn profile if you have maintained it in a professional way. Even if otherwise, they will ask for that. You need not keep it in the LinkedIn profile. If you mention in the resume, there is nothing harm in that. But you should not mention your Insta and FB on your resume. LinkedIn is good because it's a professional social media handle. FB and Insta you should not mention. But even otherwise, if you are selected, believe me, all these things will be asked for by good companies.
So we have got only that much questions. For the attention of the participants, if you have any more questions, make sure that you put it on the chat box right now.
Anamika, chat box just to copy paste you can avoid this.
Okay, sir. So I think that would be it. There are questions on the Ilya.
Goodness. But there are only two reasons for that. Either I was able to clarify all their doubts, or
yes, they are thanking you for giving such an informative session in the comment box.
അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ ഒന്നും മനസ്സിലായിണ്ടാവില്ല, അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവർക്ക് ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. അത് അവരുടെ കുഴപ്പമില്ല, അതെന്റെ കുഴപ്പമായിരുന്നു. No doubts?
So I hope we can. I don't see no more questions here, so I think we can wind up slowly. So with your permission, can I?
Pardon?
Can I wind up?
Yeah. If there are no doubts, we can wind up. There is no use. Myself as well as the students are going to
Thank you, sir.
Now, before winding up, let me tell you something.
And didactic session.
Okay, I'll
Really
just-
grateful for the way you presented the tactic necessary to succeed in this competitive environment. And thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. And I would also like to thank our coordinator, Dr. Divya George, and Dr. Anupol and Dr. Jency Thomas for all their support. And I also thank Mr. Thomas and Mr. Jaswin for all their technical support, all the technical support they provided us with. And last but not least, I thank all the audience who have participated vibrantly, and special thanks to the ones who have put forward some important questions. Thank you all and have a great day. So attendance link is provided in the chat box. You may use it as well.
Fine. Thank you all.
Sir wanted to tell something else, something more. Sir wanted to add something. No.
No.
Okay. Okay, sir. It was fine. It was fine. Can you hear me now?
A sincere thanks to the management of St. Thomas College, to your IQNC team, Sajesh sir, with whom I have a good relationship right from the time you started your BWO program, and your principal also. I had a good interaction with him since for about 5 to 6 minutes. It was nice to know that he too comes from my neighborhood only. I am from Kalapan and he comes from Thrissur, right? Although I think we had met a couple of times, we hadn't interacted like this. A sincere thanks. I always enjoy visiting St. Thomas College because honestly speaking, I'm not telling it as a praise. Whenever I go for a career guidance also, I used to talk about the high standards you people keep and why some of the software companies who avoid certain engineering colleges in Thrissur district, but they come to St. Thomas College to take physics, electronics and computer science students. I always tell them, whichever subject you study in an institute which is best for that subject, study in an institute which gives you career opportunity, which gives you placement opportunities. And being a Thrissurian, I always quote St. Thomas, although I am not a St. Thomas Collegian, but I quote St. Thomas College always. So it was nice coming over here, talking to you, the students of this college, meeting all of you once again. Thank you very much. I really enjoy coming here again and again.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the words. Okay, it was a wonderful session. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
fine.
Bye.